Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Luxury Kings. Today I'm going to cover 10 board games that are super valuable today. Let's get into the video. Number 10, Risk 40th Anniversary Edition. Risk is one of those classic games you can't help but love. Battling opponents to take over specific territories in the shorter version, or the entire world in the longer version that can sometimes take multiple days to complete. Like Monopoly, there are many different versions of Risk, but this particular Anniversary Edition is one that will earn you the most dough at about $400. Number 9, 3D Monopoly New York Edition. There have been countless versions of Monopoly released to date, but none that would earn you as much coin as this limited edition that features a custom New York themed artwork by pop culture artist Charles Fazzino. Housed within a 2-inch deep hardwood cabinet and tempered glass top, there were reportedly only 2,000 copies made of the game, which includes player pieces like a hot dog cart and NY taxi cab. If you happen to have gotten your hands on one when it was released, you can get it anywhere from $500 to $1,000 for it today.
In the Central Park, topped off with an exhilarating skate around Rockefeller Center.
Number 8, Star Wars The Queen's Gambit. Found online selling for as much as $600, this strategy game based on the end of Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace sees players control 4 battles on 3 separate game boards. Based on the popular movie franchise in that particular movie, it was released around 2000, so the game isn't that old. Number 7, Disney's Haunted Mansion game. Oddly, games from previous decades seem to focus a lot on hauntings and murder. Nonetheless, this game, which was released in 1972, is based on the Haunted Mansion at Walt Disney World in Florida. Players must move through the Haunted Mansion in their Doom Buggy as rotating discs block paths along the way. One copy is on record as having sold for $75, which is not bad for a board game.
3 cards without looking at them and shuffle the final round card in with them. Place those.
Number 6, Dark Tower. Released in the 80s, this epic fantasy game takes players on an adventure as they try to acquire a magic scepter from a tyrant king who resides in his, you guessed it, Dark Tower. Search the 4 realms for the game board, which is shaped like a circle, and find keys to unlock the gate and take down the king. With the popularity of Game of Thrones and its usurper themes, it wouldn't be surprising to find people looking for this game nowadays. Apparently, the idea was stolen, a lawsuit prevailed, and the game was taken off the shelves. So if you do find this gem of a game hidden away in some box from your childhood, you might be able to get $300 for it or more.
A ruin. Now in the ruins you'll often find monsters and treasure.
Number 5, Fireball Island. This game was developed in 1986, so if millennials and Gen Xers have a copy laying around from their use, it could get you about $200. In the game, players have to move through each path to avoid fireballs and steal jewels. The game has actually recently been resurrected with a fully restored version selling through restoration games for $75 after the company ran a crowdfunding campaign.
Have otherwise given you. The ladder and bridges are considered unstable spaces. Moving on to one of these ends your movement immediately.
Number 4, Barnabas Collins Dark Shadows. Based on the 60s supernatural cult series Dark Shadows, which was later made into a movie by Tim Burton, this 1969 game is pretty morbid when you think about it. Can you imagine playing this today with young kids? The set comes complete with glow-in-the-dark vampire teeth and a mini coffin to store its game pieces, for goodness sakes. Nonetheless, if your parents or grandparents tried to frighten the kids before bedtime with this interpretation of family fun time, you might be able to snag about $50 to $100 for a copy of this game.
You have to play the symbol or color or type of card to advance.
Yes, some of them are hard to see.
Number 3, Boris Karloff's Monster Game. Developed in 1965, this simple board game, another that makes us wonder why childhood was so twisted in decades past, saw players move along a path encountering monsters along the way. It's possible that anyone who grew up in that era might have had a copy as a child. Today, should you find one gathering dust in your attic, copies have been listed for having sold for anywhere from $380 to $460.
Here. Or you'll get a bunch of monsters that come with that type. You're also going to take...
Number 2, Be a Manager. It's absolutely insane that you can get $1,500 for this 1967 game, which comes with 120 batter and pitcher cards, a cardboard playing field, dice chart, hit and run sacrifice chart, and base runners. The idea is to be a manager of your own team and ultimately win the baseball game. For sports collectors, it might just be the piece they're missing in their vintage collection.
Each of the productions is very different, and players' turns are going to be very quick regardless of the number of players in the game.
Number 1, War of the Ring Collector's Edition. The most recent game on the list, this one launched just 9 years ago, in 2010. But the Collector's Edition of the complex fantasy game based on Tolkien books comes with items from the expansion packs, along with a leather-bound instruction manual and hand-painted game pieces. and it's all packed into a wooden resin box. It's made to resemble an ancient elven tome. There are only about 2,000 of them produced, which means if you were lucky enough to have purchased or been gifted one a decade ago, it could be worth up to $2,500 more.
With that same person again and again and again. We'll get back to
A copy is currently selling on Amazon for $3,500. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.